What's up, everybody? It's your boy Finn. Welcome back to the channel, and today is part 2 of the FBO explanation. You know, if you see my last video, I was going through a list of things that people put as far as items that they take care of on an FBO build or a full bolt-on build. So let's go ahead and hit this intro and then knock out the second half of the list. Alright, so in the last one we talked about the intake, the exhaust, suspension, engine, the few things that you do on the outside of the engine, and tuning. So this one, the first thing that we're going to talk about is the drivetrain. Alright. So the few things that we got as far as the drivetrain goes is like the gears, transmission cooler, the drive shaft, a short throw shifter instead of just your standard length shifter, and your clutch. So yeah, those are a few things that people would do on like upgrading their transmission and the stuff that transmits the power from the engine to the wheels. So would I consider that a full bolt-on thing, or is that more invasive to a full build? That's a tricky one, because some people sit here and say that you wouldn't include, you know, your gears, your drive shaft, clutch, stuff like that in a full bolt-on, because you're actually breaking into the transmission in order to change some of those parts out. Whereas others are like, well, you're not going into the engine, so yeah, it would be. You know, I can see both things. Personally, I'm not sure if I was doing a full bolt-on, I probably wouldn't break into the transmission and upgrade my gears and my clutch and stuff like that. But I understand if some people are like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do in my full bolt-on build. So there's that nitty-gritty of it. Kind of do what you want. Can't really say much one way or another whether I would consider it full bolt-on or not, but up next we got forced induction. This one flat out, yeah, it's a bolt-on thing, you know. But by forced induction, I'm talking about, you know, supercharger, turbocharger, procharger, nitrous, and obviously, you know, if you're doing turbo, you're doing an intercooler. But yes, that one I have yet to see anybody argue whether that's a invasive build or if that's considered full bolt-on. Everybody agrees you're literally bolting it on, you know. So that one, cut and dry, yes it is. So the next thing is going to be your cooling system. In the engine section, we talked about the water pump, which I left that in the engine section for the fact that it is something that bolts to the engine itself. But you also have your other aspects of your cooling system, such as your radiator, your fans, your hoses, and the actual coolant itself. To get a better flowing radiator, better fan, and better material for your hoses. So, not the factory rubber that after X amount of years will start to kind of dry rot and everything like that. You can go with a like polyurethane hose that will help as far as the longevity of that material. It lasts longer than your factory hoses will. Say you're running a turbo, and where you route your turbo, you need extra room up front, a smaller, more efficient radiator and fan setup helps as well. All it kind of depends on what you're doing with your build. If you're keeping it naturally aspirated, just getting same size but better quality, versus if you're throwing a turbo or a pro charger or whatever and you need that extra room, getting like a single fan component versus a double fan, or a full length radiator versus like a half radiator. All depends on how you're going with your build, but definitely upgrade your cooling, because I think I said earlier, if you're running higher power, you're running higher heat, you're going to want your cooling system to be on a higher level. That way it can match the, or it can do its job the right way, and you don't end up warping the head, busting the head gasket, throwing a rod, whatever it is. So, definitely upgrade your cooling. Okay, 2 more sections. Both of these sections, I see the benefit as far as having them on a full bolt-on build, but I also see where people are just kind of making the excuse to spend the money on extra shit. So the first one of these two, we're going to talk about the interior. By interior, I mean like your seats, your steering wheel, the seat belt, a roll cage. Obviously, yeah, I can sit here and argue all of these should be done in a full bolt-on. You're going to want a seat that holds you the right way, you know. The seats that are put factory are meant for comfort, not necessarily the high G-forces of being thrown back into the seat from, say, 0 to 60 in, what, half a second? You know, eventually, you know, you do that enough in a stock seat, next thing you know, boom, you're flying backwards because the adjustment component breaks after getting hit so many times like that with the forces. So a better seat, definitely understand that. A steering wheel, you know, especially if you have a roll cage in there, having, say, a removable steering wheel benefits. You know, you get that out of the way. Now you have more room to get in and out of the car when you have a roll cage. The roll cage is obvious. Like, you know, I don't know any drift, like professional drift track or drag strip that's going to allow you to go down the strip or go across the track without having some sort of a roll cage, whether it's a full-blown roll cage with the doors, or the door sides, or if it's just one that sits right behind your head, you know, whatever it is. Most of these tracks require a roll cage to be put into your vehicle. So it's a safety thing. Say you sit here and you flip your car, and next thing you know that the roof line is crushing in on you. You're not trying to have that. Roll cages are important. I get it. Granted, you know, if you're doing some racing in Mexico, it's not required. But if you're going legit with it, they're gonna look at you stupid if you show up without a roll cage. which will bring me back to the steering wheel. If you've got the full-blown roll cage, you're going to want that extra room, so a removable steering wheel, it's worth it. Also, when you're going with a steering wheel, do not get one of these, like, oh, $50 removable steering wheel. It's going to break on you. You know, go high quality. I can tell you there, that one is definitely high quality. I actually got it from my boy Ace. And I know he don't cheap out when it comes to the parts. That is a legit, like, things actually got some weight to it. I ain't gonna lie. But, hey, I can tell the quality just by holding it. It's a legit steering wheel, not no, I got my thing for $25 and now I'm going to sit here and do a turn and the thing's going to bend in half. Whatever. Anyways, seatbelts. Obviously, you're going to want more than just your single across click-in steering wheel. 4-point harness, not really crazy on that. Because what is it really... What extra? Okay, you got here and you got here. That's not really any... I know you couldn't see that second part, but you've got over the shoulders and then you've got across the lap. That doesn't really do anything more than what your standard steering wheel does. Seatbelt does, excuse me. I'm still caught up on looking at my steering wheel. That thing pretty. Anyways, a 5-point 6-point harness. Either one of those. So with that, you're talking about over your shoulders, across the lap, and then one in between the legs. Or if you're going 6-point, Jesus. If you're going 6-point, then you got 2 that come from below up through your legs. I know that these hand things did not really probably break it down well enough. But that 5th and 6th point, say you slam on the brakes. The G-force is pulling you forward, right? You've got the restraint here and you got the restraint here, but you have nothing keeping you from sliding through, say, point 3 and 4. So yeah, it's known as submarining. You know, you end up sliding through like that. So that's what that 5th point and 6th point is for. You know, you've got those things to keep you. If you have to slam on the brake, you're getting pushed forward, and those will keep you from just sliding under because it comes up between your legs, you know. So definitely, like, all those, but would I really consider that to be full bolt-on things? Not really. Important, yes. Full bolt-on, list worthy, not necessarily. More people do agree on my aspect of that as well. Some people, yeah, you do that with a full bolt-on, but majority of people are like, you can have a full bolt-on build without doing any of that. So that's the interior discussion. Okay, everybody, so here we are. We made it to the final piece of the FBO build list. Your exterior. Simply put, tires, rims, body effects. Your tires, obviously, yeah, you're gonna want some nice tires, like some good. You don't necessarily need like the high dollar Yokohama Toyo, like fucking the god tier expensive tire, but you do want something better than, you know, your low grade simple driving around tire. Something in that middle ground, good enough. Low key kind of also depends on what your build is. If you're going for a drag build, you're gonna want probably like you got your mid tier and your top tier. Something maybe in between those, something really sticky. The R888R, I know I've talked about those tires in the past, and I probably sound like some Toyo fanboy bitch. But I just know for a fact that those are some pretty good tires, good stick, good grip. So yeah, you know, you ain't got to be fucking what, $300 per tire price point, but you don't want to be on some $40 Walmart brand fucking shit that's gonna blow on you after one pull on the drag strip, you know. I know I keep referencing drag, but for the most part, when you're doing like, when you hear full bolt on, it's people who are drag racing, not necessarily like drift or circuit or whatever. It's more or less a drag term, but it is open to any style of build. So, yes, good tires are key. Would I consider it full bolt on? It's going to happen regardless, because I'm not trying to sit here and hook and then just be slipping and fucking burning tire the whole way down the track. Your rims, nobody, I mean, you can run your stock if you want, but I think that's more of a personal choice than it is a full bolt-on requirement. Your body effects, no. I don't feel like that's a full bolt-on requirement either. Just because who gives a shit about your damn rice looking ass body kit when you're trying to get good track times, you know, whether it's circuit, drag. Your body kits are more for show than it is for performance purposes. Because, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. You sit here and you get some Veilside or some Rocket Bunny. It looks good, but what's it doing for your actual performance of it? Nothing really, because you're adding weight at that point, to be honest. If you're trying to get good lap times or good quarter times, the less weight that you have, the better. I want to say that the formula for weight to power or weight to time ratio is for every 100 pounds that you shed off of the vehicle's weight is a second saved on your time. So say 300 pounds taken off of the car, that's 3 seconds. That's why people will be throwing genuine carbon fiber parts, because it weighs less. Say a carbon fiber hood versus a factory hood. I want to say carbon fiber hoods tend to be about half the weight of your general hood. Carbon fiber fenders, carbon fiber wings, you know, you get my point. So, yeah, there is some effectiveness to certain body mods, but as far as, like I said, your Veilside or your Pandem, Rocket Bunny, Liberty Walk, whatever it is, those are more for your show builds, or, I mean, honestly, I see a lot more of that on, like, drift builds as well. Because drift builds, you're not necessarily worried about the time of, or how long it takes you to get from the starting point to the finish point of the drift course. It's all about your style, you know. If you're tandem drifting, how close you keep the drift, how well your lead, how well your chase run is, not necessarily how quickly you got it done. So I see more body kit things on the drift side of the world than the drag strip and the circuits. As far as the drag strip, yes, they do body modifications, but it's more effective, like purposeful aerodynamics than it is a body kit. So yeah, you'll have your diffusers, you have your wing, this, that, the third. But it's a different world with the drag strip than it is with, like, your show cars and your drift builds. So, simple enough. I'm not going to throw it under a true full bolt-on build requirement as far as the body effects go. Your tires, yes, definitely matters. Your rims, whatever. But, alright guys, so you made it to the end of the FBO TED Talk. I appreciate you guys. Every one of y'all that clicks on my videos. Whether you make it to the end or not, I still appreciate you. You know, anybody who gives me a like on my video, comments, all the people who have subscribed to my channel. If you haven't, go ahead, subscribe. I've got some more entertaining videos than these sit-down style videos. I've got some coming up. Plan to have some people guest appear on my channel. You know, whether it's my next ride-along video or just somebody to come on and, you know, hold a whole conversation as far as just two people and their similar or different opinions on a certain type of topic. Got some plans for the next few weeks. Try and get up with some people, you know, collaborate, whatever it is. If you in my area and you want to collaborate, hit me up. Hit me up in the comment. I'll reach out to you, whatever it is. But on that note, let's go ahead and hit that outro. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.